So these are the SAICA bylaws. They're the rules that have been determined by SAICA. Part B is the only applicable section to us because the rest of the bylaws deal with SAICA's responsibilities, the rules that they have to adhere to, how they go about commissioning this, and so on. And so Part B is just all about how the actual CASA needs to act if they want to register with SAICA. So we've got application and cancellation of their membership. And I've just said similar to the APA, so we're going to see that at a later stage. But how you go about applying, obviously you're going to have done the necessary education, the necessary training, and paid the fees, in which case you can then register as a CASA. Cancelling your membership, well, if I'm saying it's similar to the APA, so you have been convicted of fraud or theft and you have been imprisoned as a result without the option of a fine, or you've been removed from office of trust, due to your misconduct. Okay, in any of those situations, you would have your membership cancelled. Okay, it deals with the fees, the subscription. You guys don't need to worry about the administration of that, and resignation and readmission. If you choose not to continue, don't pay your fee, and then you decide, actually, I do want to be a member of this institute, how do I go about gaining it? The most important section for you is going to be punishable offences, and that's where you'll have to apply the bylaws in a question. So they contravene with the Code of Professional Conduct. I'm going to have to discuss the elements in terms of the code's requirements and how they've contravened, and then as an additional point, I will say that is a punishable offence in terms of the SAICA bylaws because they have not complied with the code. Okay, so if they don't comply with any regulation, bylaw, or the CPC, it is a punishable offence. That's all you need to know. SAICA will then determine how you will be punished. If you have been dishonest in your conduct, so once again, you would have then not complied with the CPC from an integrity perspective, and so once again, you will add as a second point, this is a punishable offence. And something that comes up quite common, and that's why I've made a point to include it here, if you fail to resign from being the auditor when a client has requested. And guys, you'll remember when we did the Companies Act a few weeks ago, as a client, you cannot fire an auditor. You can request that they resign, and then at the end of the year when you go to reappoint, you can choose to appoint a new person. But you cannot fire an auditor during the year. You can only ask them to resign. And here in a bylaw, if you've been asked to resign and you won't without reasonable cause, then you could be facing a punishable offence. Okay, because that's the only way they can protect a client who no longer wants the specific auditors. Okay, so the one I see most commonly happening is that you won't resign as the auditor, and so you will just add there for 1 mark, this is a punishable offence according to the bylaws. The nice thing is that the IRBA rules regarding improper conduct align nicely with those bylaws. So once again, where you could get 1 mark for saying this is a punishable offence in terms of bylaws, you might not get another mark for saying this is also a contravention of the rules regarding improper conduct. So these are rules that are determined by IRBA, the Independent Regulatory Board of Auditors. It says if we as an auditor don't comply with the APA, any of the auditing pronouncements, or the CPC, then we have contravened the rules regarding improper conduct. If we find guilty of dishonesty or misconduct, and then if we fail to resign as auditors when requested by clients. So it's literally just adding 1 mark or 1 point to say non-compliance with the rules regarding improper conduct, non-compliance with the bylaws. Okay, let's go and do a class example. It's out of 10, so I am actually only going to give you 10 minutes. Once you have completed this, we'll discuss.